So now where did titter, the concept for then what became titter? Because obviously you guys developed chemistry. And I am probably the best living evidence of said chemistry, because if you talk to me in between these two.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. It's, as far as I know. So how did titter begin?
That was
the KS, right?
Yeah. No. Second trip to K-Mom.
Yes.
When we came back as a two-headed monster for the afternoons. After we separated from the station, it got sold. All kinds of things happened. We both ended up in different places.
It was dying, and we helped knife it at the end.
Yeah.
So we brought it to life and killed it.
And then it came back to life, and we went back again.
There we are.
And with the new ownership, we were there. It was a screwy and weird situation, but we decided what we would do is we'd start playing with the news. And we did actually two things. One was called This Is True Really. What was the other one called? There was another thing we would do. And the way This Is True Really evolved was a combination of the two. There were two that we did. It was weird. We did one way and one another way. And I can't remember what they were. Are you not remembering this?
Not at all.
Well, then maybe it was two other guys.
Mostly I remember yelling at you to be good to Tess while I stepped out of the room for a minute. You weren't. And when I came back, all I see are feet.
What did we get yelled at?
Two little sausages. Well, they didn't really yell at us for that one. They wanted to, but at that point, we were the only radio show they had, really. The rest
that is true. And people thought it was the funniest thing they'd ever heard.
Yeah. And Tess was in tears crying so hard.
Oh, it was hilarious. So
I almost quit smoking.
I had been called by the program director twice for picking on Tess while she was doing the news. And this was when Tony was riding bags of ice in the control room. Was that before it?
The first two big meetings with JB were before, because the second one, Scott had enough, and he stands up and this finger is pounding into the desk, and it wasn't pounding lightly. So I quickly grab him and tell JB this meeting's over and push him out the door, because I'm pretty sure JB was an older man and wouldn't have gotten much older at that point. And we did apparently one whole hour on my elective surgery.
Yeah, they didn't like that at all.
No, and we didn't actually believe we did it until we went back, listened to the tapes, and son of a gun, we had great fun with it.
You know, my favorite line of the whole thing, the elective surgery that Tony had was a vasectomy.
It was. And
the stupid thing he did right afterwards was he felt pretty good, so he went shopping for a few hours.
Well, only a couple, and my wife wanted to, and, I felt okay. And
the package swelled to the size of a very large cantaloupe.
Closer really to a soccer ball, but let's not get particular.
And he would sit on ice packs and switch them out every hour. And so I made the comment that you'll recognize Verkenis. He's the guy straddling every snowbank between here and St. Cloud.
Which I also did.
And the phone rang.
Yeah. Was that when is that when they pretty much said you have to go now?
I can't even, no. Because we left for KS.
We did.
Yeah. We got the job at KS and moved.
Somebody in a major market was dumb enough to hire us.
So, but what was the original question again? It was,
how did that, the idea to play with the news, find the weird news, and kind of shtick around the news.
It started really simple. We were both attracted to it.
Yeah.
You find weird stories or stories that have a twist, and some that, could have a twist with a line inserted here or there. That's just what we did back then. And it evolved to the nonsense it is today from the nonsense it was then.
And a quick, let me do a quick aside, because we had started on the story with Tess. And Tess was a brand new broadcaster, and she was delightful. She was funny. She was really smart, talented gal.
Yep.
Loved her to death, and she was our news person. The studio we were in was across the hall from the news studio, and if you were sitting kind of like I'm sitting right now at a desk, you were looking right into the eyes of the person doing the news, but separated. And we had been getting yelled at. And Tony says to me, I'm going to get up and I'm going to make some coffee and I'm going to have a cigarette. I'm going to get Tess into the news.
While I'm gone, all you have to do is turn her mic off when she's finished, play the commercial, and get into music. That's all you have to do, please.
That's it.
Just do that.
And I had every intention of doing that and only that.
Unfortunately,
the chair had other ideas.
He backed up, wheel locked up, I think.
Yeah, well, I noticed that his spot was missing, and I thought I'd go grab the cart.
So you do what you do, right? You roll yourself back.
Yep. Wheel caught. I went ass over tea kettle, and I'm laying on my back. Unbeknownst to me, Tess could see my toes doing this just over the cons. And I'm laying there going, okay, think. What do? Do you wait till she finishes, get up, turn her mic off, scramble around? Or do you get up now, grab the cart, sit down like nothing happened?
And hope for the best, yep.
Yeah, and just don't make eye contact.
And?
I made eye contact.
And?
And the next words out of Tess's mouth were, and I quote,
yep.
And I'm laughing. I kick on my microphone. I'm screaming, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Boom! The door gets kicked open. What the hell is going on in here?
I'm only on the other side of the building. It wasn't a big building.
It was pandemonium. And we got several notes that said it's the funniest thing I ever heard.
Yeah,
and that's why they couldn't.
That,
So
eventually we got hired at KS.
And forgive me for maybe going backwards one more time.
Sure.
Okay.
Because El Baldissimo, who is in my upper right corner, you can't see my screen. Anyway, right. The one I'm most genetically related to. You were working for a syndicated network at some point, doing overnights.
The Breeze.
The Breeze, yes.
The Breeze. That was the Moores, Robbie Moore.
Is that what we were doing? Came on yet?
No,
was that after?
That was before the second time it came on.
Okay.
Because I was doing Metro Traffic in the mornings, and I would do The Breeze on the weekends.
And came on in the afternoons.
Yeah, it was a little nutty there for a while, but Rob Moore was hilarious. Great.
I was lazy. I just worked at LOL in there, and otherwise basked in the sun.
The 3 days a year we get it in Minnesota, yeah, it's wonderful.
Yep, all four of them.
So, what do you want to know about The Breeze?
Well, I was just wondering because I do remember a certain meeting with one Rob Moore involving the Democrat National Committee.
Yes, and me,
and you.
You're a Democrat? Oh
no, I'm not either. Yeah, Rob Moore may be one of the funniest human beings I've ever met in my entire life. He is also a terrific program director, a wonderful human being.
You don't have to suck up anymore, man.
I know. I don't work for him anymore. So I don't.
Well, wait, have all three of us worked for him at some point?
I don't think Tony worked for him. He worked with us at Net Radio briefly.
Yeah. Okay, because I technically worked for Rob too.
Yeah.
For a minute.
And Ian knows what a decent human being Rob is.
Fantastic.
And so doing overnights on the weekends, and it was during the Dukakis campaign. You'll recall eyebrows. I would get bored because, you do the news every hour, and I would get bored. And the Breeze Network was one of those, it was new jazz and all kinds of things. Somewhere Down the Crazy River by Robbie Robertson was in heavy rotation at the time. Plus anything by Chip Davis. And
David Sanborn.
Yeah, oh yeah, plenty of David Sanborn, stuff like that. So it was kind of this odd sort of hybrid. And it was fun. The music was great. I loved it to death. And I was working overnights on the weekends, and I got bored doing the news. So I started, and I knew nobody was using it, so I started grabbing the odd news off the wire. And the Breeze delivery was, Scott Combs with you on the Breeze. Coming up, Robbie Robertson, Chip Davis, and a little David Sanborn. But first, the news. And so I would read the wildest news stories I could find in that voice and not break up. And I get a call one day. Hey, Scott. Hi, Rob.
Buddy.
Listen, wondering if you can stop in for an air check. And I said, yeah, sure. I could stop in I don't have an air check. He says, it's okay. I have one.
Uh-oh.
And I go in and I'm thinking, what have I done?
I'm a dead man after all.
And I walk in and Rob is the most deadpan guy in the world, and he can string you on for weeks if he wants to. And luckily he didn't do that. And he said, and he listened, he set the air check up for right before the news. I do the news. I'm sitting there. I'm not laughing. He's not laughing. Get to the end of it, and he goes, that's funny. And I'm sitting there going, well, thank you. And he says,
a punchline coming here.
He says, I wouldn't have even known this was happening unless I got this letter from the Democratic National Committee who told us how much they loved the overnight guy on the weekends because of the funny stuff he does. And I thought to myself, I don't remember programming anything funny. Still completely deadpan. I'm going, oh man.
I'm dying here.
And Rob says, okay, you can do it once a night. I said, thank you, Rob. Thank you. Wanted to kiss his shoes,
Couldn't find the door fast enough.
But it was the same thing as Titter. It's just funny. I mean, and truth is stranger than fiction. So that was my Breeze network.
So then you guys ended up together at KS.
Yep.
KSTP AM.
Doing mornings.
The jewel.
Talk radio. Oh, brother.
The jewel in the crown of Hubbard Broadcasting.
Guys at KS95 would tell you something different.
News, sports, and talk radio. That wasn't cumbersome at all.
No.
It
was a zoo there, and again, we tried to have fun, but that was
that was hard.
Strange environment.
Management changes, some odd ducks in there, as you do get in radio sometimes. Some crazy people running things.
If you've ever watched WKRP, it's all true. Sometimes they amalgamate the people, like they'll take some of Jennifer and some of Les and put them together. But honest to God, they're all there. Although we did work with some terrific. John McDougall was terrific.
Sush was fantastic.
Sushere and Royce were fun. Royce was fun, but he would never let you know that because that would blow his curmudgeonly image.
Yep.
One of the Karen Falloon was one of the weather. She was the morning weather anchor on TV, and she did weather with us.
Boom Falloon.
Hoot.
Yes. We met some good people. We met some tough people. I think the funnest one of the bunch was Mac.
He walked into one joke accidentally, and from then on, he was hooked.
We were warned.
Phone number? What is it? 1. And he was hooked right there. We had him by both gills, and I don't understand exactly why, but you wanted if McDougall was your friend, you had a friend for life, man.
Well, an odd thing is that Peter Thiel came to us and said, look, sooner or later, McDougall's going to take a run at you guys. And Mac could feel like a bully if he wanted to. And he usually came at you to see if you could take it.
And he had the street cred.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd been around a long time. He was good at what he did.
Really good at what he did.
And Thiel said, and Pete warned us. He said, Peter, he will eventually. And he told us, all he's looking for is your reaction. I didn't really think anything of it.
Well, then we found out he was friends with the program director that Tony had to pull me off of.
You see what a weird little incestuous world radio is. So he came and said, I hear you worked with JB Eckert. Yeah, we did. He's a very good friend of mine. Some say and here were the words that killed him. Some say we're a lot alike. No, you're much taller.
And clean shaven.
And clean shaven. He kind of looked at us.
There was a hand waggle in there.
Nonsense. You're taller and from over my shoulder and clean shaven. It was perfect. And Matt kind of looked at us, smiled a little, I think.
Oh, he gave a hee.
And walked away. And we were buds from then on.
Yeah. As he's walking away, he's going, "You'll do fine."
Yep.
And he was our pal from then. Always good for $20. I just loved that too.
Oh.
Whenever you needed $20, Matt could give you $20.